Jesus Christ, this script is fucking massive. Oh my fucking... Like the video! Or else. Unfortunately, I forgot about the latest episode. Some personal issues came up and I didn't watch it in time. Hopefully that doesn't make the video come out any later than Thursday, but if not, I'm sorry. I script and edit my videos on myself on my iPhone, so if it does come out as scheduled, everything is Gucci. But if not, it's because I forgot the episode came out and my editing does take quite a while. I'm truly sorry if it's not out by Thursday, but it will absolutely be out by Friday. Another thing I want to point out is that I write the openings to these scripts while watching the video. The first things that catch my eye, I point out. So if I bring up something near the start of the video and then swing back around to it, if it comes up in the episode, that is why. So there's another recap again. Do you think Disney is afraid that someone will pick up the show in the middle of the season or something? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't tend to see a new series on Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus and think, I'll start on episode 5, and be like,
wait a minute. What the fuck is this shit? You said...
It's actually starting to annoy me now. Having a season recap every fucking episode. Still don't understand how they thought that was a good idea. It feels patronizing, like, oh, you couldn't possibly remember all the intricacies of the last episode. It's okay. We here at Disney never expected a pea-brained homunculus to even grasp the basic concepts of our masterfully woven threads, let alone remember the story of it. I will give credit. I did like how they cleverly started the episode with the end of the recap. It was nice seeing Mark have a broken nose and being bloodied. It does make me hopeful that the orderlies do actually end up being abusive and they only saw their good sides in the last episode. It is possible to believe that at least. This is such a nitpick, but there's an air bubble in that syringe. Mark's dead.
I'm afraid you're actually quite dead.
Oh shit, I was right, that air bubble took him out. I find it a bit weird the Egyptian goddess has an English accent for some reason. Seems just a little bit off to me, doesn't it to you? Not really much else to say on that. It's not like I didn't like her voice or anything, it just caught me off guard. I actually can believe that they are dead, but I am skeptical. I think they want you to feel that way, but time will tell if they are actually dead. Wouldn't be the first time Moon Knight died then came back, so I'd like to see how they deal with that, if that's really what's going on. Actually, before we move on, a friend I was talking to brought it up that they're setting up for Jake to appear. I completely missed that part. It would make a lot of sense for that third coffin there to be Jake. I wasn't even paying attention when watching that. I was so focused on the funny running and the small screen. I actually have very little to say about this episode. It was amazing. The best episode yet. Moon Knight is the best Disney show I've seen so far. I'm really excited for the next episode and the season 2. I have no negatives. This episode was the strongest one yet. Not a single stumble that I could catch. It was amazing. The acting in this episode was aces. Learning about Mark's childhood and his abusive mother made me feel so bad for him and angry at his mother for treating him that way. When Steven punched Mark out of anger, it was so well done. Their argument leading up to Mark freaking out and saying, "You can't make me," had me tearing up a bit. It's clear that whatever he went through was emotionally destroying him inside. Oscar Isaac is such a good actor. This episode, better than any so far, really gave him the chance to switch from drastically different emotions on a dime. It's amazing. You can literally see his eyes go from full of tears and bloodshot to dry almost instantly as the transition from Mark to Steven happens. I am still stunned by this episode. It was more than I expected. It was the first time in one of these Marvel shows that I actually felt connected to these characters in this way. I didn't feel sympathy for Wanda, even though they tried, and oh boy, did they try. I didn't connect with Kate Bishop or Clint Barton. I did like Hawkeye though, never finished it. I usually drop Marvel shows because they get boring or predictable after like the third episode. Moon Knight is different in both categories. I have a connection with Mark. I sympathize with him more than I ever did with Wanda. Maybe because he didn't kidnap a whole town and force them to be slaves for months, while they themselves said they are in constant pain. Kinda hard to sympathize with someone who's literally acting like the villain. It's not like they were going that route either. It's very clear that you're supposed to sympathize and root for Wanda. She's not the bad guy in that series. You wanna know how I know that? Because this is the bad guy. He's the most baddiest, guyest bad guy I've ever seen. Literally every word out of his mouth sounds like it came from How to Be Evil for Dummies. So yeah, fuck Wanda. But I definitely can feel bad for Mark and Steven. And oh boy, do I. Everything in this episode is admittedly an exposition dump. Since we haven't gotten inside Mark's head up until this point, everything has been viewed from an outside perspective. You're supposed to be just as confused and green as Steven, so they can make a dramatic reveal that Mark created Steven Grant because of his abusive mother, something that Steven doesn't take too well. There is actually 2 flaws that I have now that I think about it. One is for the series as a whole and technically all of Marvel too, and the second is an actual episode-specific one, kinda. First, I don't like that in these shows they barely wear the costume. Ever. In every Marvel show, every Marvel movie, everything. Fuck. You can buy a Danny Rand statue. Ah, yes, I love this homeless man with a dragon tattoo. What? That's Iron Fist? But where's the green disco suit? Where's the yellow mask? Fuck you. Seriously though, the suit, not including recaps because why would you, and also not including episode 5, has been in 3 episodes for a combined total of 11 minutes and 13 seconds. In fact, I went one step further and separated the screen time for Steven's suit and Mark's suit. They'd appreciate that being 2 separate people, I think. First episode, Steven doesn't get to wear the suit. Sorry, buddy, but Mark wears it for a whopping 17 seconds. The second episode has the longest appearance, standing at 5 minutes and 19 seconds tall, with Steven wearing his suit for 3 minutes and 51 seconds, while Mark this time round only gets 1 minute and 28 seconds to his name. They must have thought they spoiled him with that 17-second buffet they gave him in the first episode. Mark, you little piggy, you got the last 17 seconds of the last episode. Share with your baby brother, Steven. Oh, right, sore spot. Anyway then, at the 32-minute mark of the third episode, Mark gets 2 minutes, 57 seconds of suit time, and Steven only gets 21 seconds. Well, now that doesn't seem fair, does it? Poor baby Steven. Marvel thought so too, so they gave him an extra 2 minutes and 18 seconds to make up for Piggy, Mark taking all of the screen time. In fact, I went
Even further beyond!
and separated the time where he was wearing the full suit and the suit without a mask to give sweet, sweet actor face time, and it comes out to this. Mark and Steven wear the suit fully masked for 9 minutes, 59 seconds. He wears just a snazzy suit, no mask, for 1 minute and 3 seconds. And he wears the regular suit, no mask, for 11 seconds. And just so people don't say I'm being unfair, and the suit could have showed up a bunch in the 5th episode, changing the time, and you are nitpicking and biased. I win, you lose, bye-bye. The 5th episode of Moon Knight shows the night of the moon only twice, the whole episode, at exactly 11 minutes, 24 seconds, for exactly 10 seconds, and at 25:34, he wears the suit with no mask for 4 seconds, and then with the mask for 5 seconds, for a total of 9 seconds, adding to the 11 minutes, 13 seconds, making it a whopping 11 minutes, 22 seconds, making the total for fully masked Moon Knight go up to 10 minutes, 3 seconds, and him with no mask up to 1 minute, 19 seconds. Keep in mind, there will be only 6 episodes this season. They only have 1 more to go. The suit's only been in 11 minutes of the show so far. That's not good, Marvel. I don't know who needs to tell Marvel this, but 11 minutes out of 6 hours isn't a good ratio. I don't even want the suit on a majority of the show. I don't even want it to be 50-50. You could have the actor have most of the screen time, but do not disrespect me with this bullshit. The longest the suit has been on is in episode 2, and he doesn't put it on until the 35-minute mark. He wears the suit less than I wear suits, and trust me, I love business casual as much as the next guy, but I'm not exactly wearing a suit every day. You guys do see the problem here, with having less than a quarter of screen time having the title character in it? No, Mark is not Moon Knight. The suit is Moon Knight, and the suit barely shows up. I was actually really generous with my counting too. I didn't cut out parts where he isn't on screen and it's someone else doing something like Layla fighting generic goon number 537. So if I really wanted, that number could be cut down significantly. But who would do such a thing? This is very rough around the edges since Marvel incorporates a fuck ton of jump cuts. But with only screen time, meaning when Mark or Steven can be seen in the suit, is a total of 9 minutes and 14 seconds, not including episode 5, which I already cut down as much as possible since I was tired of being charitable. They need to fix this problem. Every Marvel show and movie will be plagued forever with the same problem that they've had for years. I hate it so much. That brings me to the second, more episode-specific complaint. This episode is a huge exposition dump. It's really noticeable how much it just wants to cram in all the story it thought it would have had time to do in the 6 episodes. It feels like this show should have been more 8 to 9 episodes to flesh it out a bit more and have more time to breathe rather than throw literally all the lore at once, then kill off Steven. Oh, did that come out of nowhere? Yeah, well, it did in the episode too. Anyway, while counting the time on these episodes, I softened up a little bit on how I felt about Steven getting the Mr. Knight suit. I still would have preferred the Mr. Knight suit to be because of a character progression, like in the comics, but my knee-jerk reaction to hate it has dulled a bit, and I do appreciate how it does complement Steven's personality. And before I end off, one last thing I felt weird about was, why did Khonshu do that thing where he, reverses the sky? He says he remembers every night. Can't he just navigate them himself without churning back time and entombing himself on purpose? Maybe he's just a bad navigator. I don't know. But that's it. See ya. Bye-bye. I still wouldn't have preferred the Mr. or every Marvel show and every Marvel movie from now on will all be plagued forever with the same problem like they've been plagued with.
Have you ever had a dream?
Actually, before I move on, a friend and I was talking. The longest the suit on, and the suit's only been in 11 minutes. The show so far. Oh, that's why I didn't read it right.